So we are on the same page when we say that glucose is high, insulin and ATP is low. It makes sense, right? Body senses it as a stress and activates sympathetic nervous system and releases norepinephrine and epinephrine, which works with other counter-regulatory hormones like glucagon, cortisol and growth hormones. So they get the signal glucose is low, so they take responsibility and perform their action. Liver produces more glucose by the process of gluconeogenesis and glycogenolysis. But glucagon goes an extra mile and produces fatty acids from lipids, which in a sense is not bad, owing to the fact that it can be used an alternate energy source for the cells, and it can be used by the brain too, as it can cross blood-brain barrier. Just the bad thing about it is that it keeps on producing and cells are slow to use it, so extra ketone bodies are produced. You do remember there are three types of ketone bodies, namely acetone, beta hydroxybutyric acid, and acetoacetic acid. So here you see acids. Two acids, beta hydroxybutyric acid and acetoacetic acid. They increase in the body, that is called as acidosis, as they exhaust the buffering capacity of the blood plasma and have not really involved respiratory system. So they fall in the category of metabolic acidosis. And since they are ketones, we call the havoc they created the ketoacidosis. And that is how diabetic ketoacidosis is DKA. But it is just the beginning of the chaos. This leads to hyperketonemia and ultimately the acidosis. Diabetic ketoacidosis affects other organs like blood vessels, lungs, kidney, and brain. What happens in the kidney is more glucose is excreted out. Water follows it. Ions like sodium, potassium, and chloride follows it, thus resulting in osmotic diuresis. So decreased water in the body leads to dehydration. Dehydration means it can cause hypovolemia and thus hypotension, which can lead to the shock, and shock is a life-threatening condition. As mentioned earlier, that diabetic ketoacidosis is a life-threatening complication. See, told you it is. Potassium was being excreted, so it can lead to hypokalemia, again life-threatening. Remember, ketone bodies were excessive in the blood, so they are excreted out via kidney. Therefore, it leads to ketonuria. Measuring ketone in the urine by dipstick is a pretty cool common diagnostic test too. Now let's see the brain. As told earlier, ketone bodies can cross blood-brain barrier. Excessive ketone bodies goes to the chemo-trigger zone and cause nausea and vomiting. Increased hydrogen ion acid or this acidosis can cause hyperventilation when is sensed by the medulla oblongata and causes the cosmal breathing. Cosmal breathing is a type of hyperventilation that is the lungs' emergency response to acidosis. Talking about the breathing pattern, so yes, lungs now you can see cosmal breathing and also you can sense a fruity breath odor. And other sign, and this one is the because of acetone. Remember acetone, one of the ketone body that was produced. In the vessels, especially the peripheral vessels, due to the acidosis, they get dilated. Vasodilation causes hypothermia. Also, vasodilation in turn decreases the peripheral resistance, causing hypotension which can lead to shock ultimately. Now, on a very basic cellular level, what happens due to acidosis as a compensation mechanism? Acidosis is increased hydrogen ion. Hydrogen ions enter the cell, makes the potassium to leave and thus decrease total body potassium and increase potassium in the blood, causing hyperkalemia. Hyperkalemia is life-threatening. It can cause ileus, abdominal pain, and arrhythmia, making the heart irregularly palpitate. But hey, the kidneys were excreting potassium and we were having hypokalemia there. So potassium from the cells are constantly being pumped out as potassium is being excreted constantly. The potassium is constantly excreted in the urine during osmotic diuresis. The overall potassium level in the body is eventually depleted. And this is the one thing that need to be taken care of. In the treatment section, we will discuss about it. What symptoms a patient will present with. Let's move to next section to study about them.